Hi. So, I think it's high time we do a collective reading, don't you? The last few videos I've done have more or less been me talking about things. So, I wanted to do a little collective. Going with Twin Flame. Obviously, Twin Flame reading. Obviously, if you don't resonate with that term, that's fine. You know, I'm sorry, I feel I got some mascara down here. That's really irritating. Yeah, so if you don't resonate with that term, that's absolutely fine. Soulmate, whatever you want to resonate with, that's whatever, you know, just take what resonates and leave what doesn't. We're going to do divine masculines first and then divine feminines. I'm getting some really good cards here. I'm loving it. I'm so loving it. But yeah, sorry if I sound a little bit rough around the edges because I'm still not 100% well. Like I thought it was like just a cold, but as it turns out I then had stomach pains quite significantly for 2 nights in a row. So I do think it was probably more likely ascension flu than anything else. Just quite intense. Usually I don't get it as intense as that, but okay, we're getting some really interesting cards for the divine masculines. I just want to pull a couple more before I begin. Okay, we've got that one. But yeah, we've got some interesting energies going on. Definitely some interesting energies going on. It does feel like there's a shift happening in Taurus season. So we've shifted into Taurus season. We're out of the chaos of, because Pisces and Aries season have been pretty chaotic, let's face it, with everything that's happened, and it feels like we're out of that chaos now, and we're into like a bit of a window where everything's stabilizing, and that's very kind of on the money with the Taurian energy of being stable and structured and building a foundation. And it's funny because it's like, if anyone was going to expect random or sudden communication to come in, if you're going to expect it to come in from your divine masculines in any season, you'd probably say Aries season, because Aries are known to be quite like just impulsive, really, whereas Taurians not so much. You know, earth sign energy, a little bit more like chill vibes, a little bit more like just go with the flow. But actually it's happening now. That's when it's happening, is this sudden and impulsive communication. And it's like, it just goes to show something that you really talked about quite heavily, especially in a high level spiritual connection, is that you need that stability for the communication to take place. Like, it's okay having loads of passion, it's okay having loads of impulsive energies kind of in the mix, but ultimately it's that stable energy where it flourishes, and that is kind of really being quite, you know, point proven with Taurus season. So yeah, Taurus season's laying the foundations, and I feel like come Gemini season we're going to see some constant communication for these connections. I mean, the cards that I've got for these DMs, they're insane, they're amazing. We have got the first card out, Knight of Swords. Straight away we're talking about communication, you know, something that's been channeled, that I'm channeling, is about divine masculines coming in with communication, stable structured communication. Now I also feel like it's not entirely what is expected of them from the divine feminine. So if you're divine feminine watching this, you might have had communication from your DM and you're like, do you know what, right, he could have done better. Like, he's not really done what I thought he'd do, like I expected. And it's not that you've got high expectations, but there is a need to manage those expectations still a little bit more. I feel like it's more that they are dipping the toe in the water and making sure it's safe first. It's like they've been in shark infested waters for so long that they're like, is it safe to swim? Is it safe to swim here? So I do feel like some might have used somebody else to to talk to you. Some divine masculines might have used someone else to speak to their divine feminine. So it could be a friend, a family member. It could be doing it on a sleuthing account on social media. Like they've kind of done something that you're not really very happy with, in terms of like, oh well, that was a bit lackluster. But I do feel like it's maybe more than anything else, I'm getting the vibe that they've spoken to a friend, and then a friend's spoken to you, like, oh, so and so was asking about you recently, and saying you'd like to reach out. And it's like, okay, well, why aren't you? Like, that's the vibe I'm getting with this. But they are just dipping their toes in, they're practicing. We've got Page of Crystals. There's a bit of a build up here, and I like that. Like, I think that's nice. Like, I think some divine feminines are like, oh well, that's like, I expected more. Like, I expected him to message me, I expected him to reach out. But actually, it's like it's building. There's some momentum building. There's like a little bit of you know, like it's, you know, like when you're reading a good book or you're watching a good film and there's a bit of a slow burn. That's the vibe I'm getting. We've got a slow burn energy. It's not stagnant energy. It's not taking the piss energy. It is slow burn energy, like little bits and bats happening here and there. And I feel like over the next coming weeks, you're really going to see some more very interesting changes happening to the connection with communication. We've got the Two of Cups and the Lovers. So what more do you need to say? They want union. That's what they want. That's what they're chasing after. That's where they're heading with this. And then the Four of Cups. These divine masculines have been miserable for too long. They're like, you know what? It's the time. The time is right. It's the right time now. Other cards that we've got Awaken. We've got Change. Like, you know, they realise now their eyes are open. They know what they need to do. They know it's going to take a little bit of time. They know they might have to do some more manoeuvring. They might have to finish some cycles up. They might have to dip the toe in the water first. They might have to make a bit more of a plan of action with how they come forward. But ultimately, that's what they plan to do. And we've got confidence. So they are gaining some confidence. And do you know what? Taurus is an underrated sign when it comes to confidence. Like, I feel like people look to fire signs and air signs for confidence, but more often than not you'll find that earth signs are very confident too, like especially if they are especially Taurus and Capricorn. Like, they're pretty self-assured, and I feel like it's a good energy for you know, Taurus season is a good energy for driving that forward, you know, knowing that they're in the power. And we've got Symbiosis, so they know who you are to them. They know what you are. They know this is a deep soul connection. They know that they're not going to get better than this, and they don't want better. They don't want anything. They want you, ultimately. We've got Theft, and I'm hearing Time is a Thief while I'm saying that, so they do feel like they've been like, time is a thief, but they do feel like they've wasted time, but not through their own issues. Like, it's something of, maybe they understand that there's a fated and divine connection that's got divine intervention written all over it. That's what I'm getting from that. We've got Success, we've got Aquarius, we've got Passion, and we've got Lucky card. So these divine masculines are very well aware that they're gonna succeed here. They're not worried. I don't think they're worried about, you know, your reaction. They're not worried about it. They know they've got some tricks up the sleeve. They've definitely got some tricks up the sleeve. Let's go into Divine Femmes, because we spent a while on Divine Masculines. Sorry, I'm yawning. I'm so tired. Like, honestly, I'm still not 100%. Oh. So we've got the Emperor in reverse straight away. Oh, and then the King of Swords. Yeah, and the Queen of Cups. These Divine Feminines expected a little bit more from the Divine Masculine with this communication. It's like, okay, look, dude, you could have at least messaged me yourself rather than getting your friend to do it, or, you know, you could have at least been a little bit more open when you've, like, the thing is, what's happened here is the Divine Masculines have had to keep a guard of a sort up when they've messaged their Divine Feminine. And the Divine Feminine have reacted to that, because obviously there's a mirror effect going on there. So the reaction is that the Divine Feminine's got a guard up. You know, the divine masculine has not quite done this gesture with the right intentions. Not with the right intentions, not they've held back, they've played it safe, and ultimately the divine feminines are like, no. Like, it's not quite hitting that spot, dude. Like, you need to really pull your finger out a little bit. We've got the Two of Swords in reverse, so it's not affected the way that they are seeing their divine masculine. It's just they want a little bit more of this energy. They want a little bit more King of Cups energy. We do have Queen of Cups as well, so you know they want to match. They want their energy being matched. A lot of the divine feminines are in this Queen of Cups energy. They're in this unconditional love. They're holding space. They are, you know, quite in the divine feminine flair, and they want that energy matched now. They're not willing to take anything less than. They're not willing to take dribs and drabs or, you know, kind of old game playing energy as well, as what I'm getting. Like, they're kind of like, no, come with it all, or don't bother. And that's a good energy to be in, but also you've got to remember, if you are resonating with this reading and that's you, you've got to remember that there's a fine line between having that energy and holding that energy and remaining open in that energy, and having that energy, holding that energy, and shutting down from your divine masculine. Like, you know, leave some room, leave the door ajar. Don't completely, like, you know, give them some options. Like, say, look, okay, I'm not really impressed. Like, I feel like you could have done a bit more. You could have been a little bit more forthcoming with how you felt. But, you know, it's fine. We'll get there. We'll take baby steps. That's different energy from, okay, come correct or don't come. Like, that's not really how you want to do it. Because you don't want to go back to square one yourself with this connection. You know, forward movement is what I'm getting for Taurus season, which is interesting because people kind of see it as like a slow-paced kind of energy, but it isn't in this situation. And Spirit's saying to me, you have weathered the storm, so just know that the worst of it's behind you now. You're kind of coming, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. So what else have we got? The divine feminines, we've got relax. So, you know, just relax, just know it's coming. And I feel like a lot, the energy I get with the divine feminine portion is that these divine feminines are pretty chilled. They're pretty chilled. They're like, oh yeah, okay, I know he's going to come back round. Like, I'm not too worried. And then we've got optimism as well. So yeah, you are feeling like pretty good about things. Like, you kind of know it's coming. You're not really too worried, but you might have had a few triggers rise up from old poor communication with your divine masculine. So if you've had cycles of bad communication, and now you're having, it's not necessarily bad communication, but it's not ideal. It's not the best communication. You're kind of like, it's triggering me. It's triggering, like, there's a little bit of a trigger, and some fears are coming up to be released, and some things you need to forgive as well, your divine masculine. Let's get a few more cards before I shut this reading down, because it is getting long. I do this every time. I make my videos too long and then I can't post them on Instagram. Or I have to do it in 2 parts, or put it on a little bit of a fast speed. She's mighty annoying. I wish Instagram did longer videos, I really do. Right, that one as well. So we've got stress. Sorry, my nose is so itchy. We've got passion, and this is one that we had with the divine masculines as well. So there's a lot of passion going on. I do feel like the chemistry between these two counterparts is pretty significant right now. It's bouncing. Like, you actually could be getting a lot of sexual energy and a lot of sexual tension, and I feel like that's what's drawing these divine masculines out, is this calling with this and this passion. They are kind of like, oh, do you know what, like, I don't want to waste any more time now. I get the vibe that it's the right time. We've got table and we've got plan. So these divine feminines would like to sit down with the divine masculine and talk to them about what's gone on. We've got accident. So I feel like they want to acknowledge, like, some of the stuff that's happened in the past, and, you know, offer forgiveness or ask for forgiveness, because obviously it's a two-way street. It's not just one sided, let's face it. And then we've got Cancer as well, which is interesting because I do get Cancer season vibes is going to be quite big for the collective. I do feel like going from now with this Taurian energy through Gemini season and Cancer season is a bit of a peak for this energy, and it's something that I've channeled quite significantly for a few different of my clients and their personal connections. Cancer season seems to be coming up again and again and again as a theme. So, you know, watch this space. Cancer season is probably a good time to open up emotionally as well in these connections. So that's all I've got for this reading. I hope you've enjoyed it and hope to see you again soon.